Hey folks, this is Johnny. Welcome to another home studio trainer show, and today we're going to take a look at MIDI events. So the question came up, what is that dark area to the right of my MIDI events? And how do I make a MIDI event longer to add more info? So I'm going to show you that here. It's actually quite simple, and most of you probably know this already, but I wanted to put this out there so that you guys could see how this works. All right, very cool. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the MIDI events and how it works. In the last video that I did, I showed how to link an audio event so that the tempo changes would actually affect the audio event. Now, you can't do that process with the MIDI event because MIDI automatically syncs to whatever you have, like the grid, or if you do freestyle, it'll at least sync to the tempo. That is, if you're not recording to a click. In this case, it's we're going to actually check out adding MIDI data to an existing event. All right, so before we get there, if you guys could, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, enable notifications so that you know when these things are going to come out. And if you could, become a member on right here on YouTube, or you can actually become a Patreon member, and the prices are pretty much the same. And you can do as little as $2 and as much as $9 to help support the channel. And that'll give you the ability on Patreon to actually get more benefits, videos without ads, and videos that I can't post on YouTube. All right, so let's go to the classroom. So you can see here, with this MIDI event here, this. All right, so the question came up when I'm going to edit my MIDI. Now, this guy was a beginner, so I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. What is this big black area here? Or he called it the dark area. And I'm like, well, there's just no MIDI event there. And he says, well, what if I want to add data? And I said, you can just click like this to add data. But he says, I need to see the lines going across so that I can add the correct data. So what I did is I showed him this. If you look here, you can extend the actual MIDI event and add data that way. Conversely, you can also go here and add the data, or add space to add data so that you can see the horizontal and the vertical lines. It was the horizontal lines that he was missing. And he's like, if I just do this randomly, I really don't know where I'm at. And then I have to go back and move, which makes sense. So those are the two ways that you can add MIDI data manually, just like this, just grabbing this and stretching out. And then you can go ahead and add data this way. And once again, you can also do that here. Now, if you try to grab down here, it's not going to do it. The mouse isn't going to change to the grabber tool. So if you go all the way up here, there we go, up at the top, and then you go ahead and do that. I think it's easier doing it this way, but that's just me. All right. So now there is another thing that you can do too. So if you just put the track and record, let's say I wanted to make an ending to this progression. So I could actually start here, and if I'm on record mix, let me actually open up the record panel and make sure that I'm on record mix. So I can actually just hit the record button here and keep recording after the progression ends, like this. And you can see that it is extending the MIDI event naturally until I hit stop. Beautiful. Let's see if that worked. Perfect. So that is kind of the third way, the third way to add MIDI data, or to add event room for extra MIDI data. So if you don't want to do it that way, just one more time in review, you can grab the top of the MIDI event and stretch it. You can go up to the Arrange view and extend the event, or you can just press record from any point within the progression to add notes to the end. It makes it really, really simple. And just remember that if you're going to do it while you're actually playing, just go ahead. Make sure you open the record panel. It can also be opened up from the menu up here. But if you open up the record panel with this little icon right here, you can just go ahead and hit record, and it will automatically extend as you play. All right, I think that's it. I think that'll do it for that there. So that is the nice thing about using the MIDI. And you've got a couple of different ways to do this. Some people like actually creating their progressions and then adding notes manually, and just stretching out the MIDI events helps because you get the horizontal grid as well as the vertical grid. So there you go. All right, I hope that helped, and I will see you all in the next video.